think you always know what you're talking about when the reality of the situation is you have no idea what you're talking about. Let's go to Herb. Herb is next up on PTL. Hello, Herb.
Brian, take a deep breath, because what I'm going to say to you, you probably won't care, but I'm going to make this comment, and then I'm going to hang up.
Why are you going to hang up? No,
because
Herb, here's what we're going to do, okay? We're going to have a conversation. You're not going to make a comment and hang up. If you make a comment and then you hang up, then we're not going to have conversations anymore. I'll let you make your comment, no problem. But you're going to hang on the line. We're not going to hang up on you, and we're going to have a conversation. And after you make your comment, I'm going to respond to it. That's the way a radio show works, and that's the way a conversation works. So, Herb, if you can agree to that, you're welcome to make your comment, and I will not interrupt you.
Okay, Brian.
Do we have a contract?
Let me just say.
Do we have a verbal? Do we have a verbal contract there? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Then go right ahead.
Brian, listen to me, and listen to me closely. I'm concerned about you. I know you take calls every day, but man, people call in and you get upset with them, you disagree with them, and I'm not saying this is my perspective. I'm not a doctor.
Oh, okay.
But Brian, I'm concerned. I'm just concerned that one day they're going to say you had a nervous breakdown.
I don't care. Well, Herb, here's the thing, right?
Okay, well that's fine. I know you don't care.
Can I
but
respond?
What I'm saying to you
Can I respond?
I'm concerned about you,
Herb.
and
Herb.
I'm not going to contribute to your health care.
Okay. So Herb, you're making me laugh. Herb, you're making me laugh. Now let me respond to what you just said. Herb, first of all, I'll respond by saying, I love it when people like you call into this show. It makes
yeah.
I love it. Number one, I love having good spirited debates. I enjoy it. So you're wrong about that, but I appreciate your concern. Number two, Herb, I'm going to say I'm concerned about people like you. And you're not going to like what I'm about to say, Herb. I'm going to go the way you went. You're not going to like what I'm about to say, but I will let you respond, and I'm not going to hang up on you. Herb, I'm concerned about people like you. People like you that are ill-informed, that think Donald Trump is doing a good job. Mm-hmm. People like you that think Donald Trump is a good man who has good policy, and you think America is headed in the right direction. People like you that are brainwashed, that watch Newsmax or OAN or Fox News and think you always know what you're talking about when the reality of the situation is you have no idea what you're talking about. So, Herb, here's what I would ask of you. Don't be concerned about me. Brian's going to be just fine. Be concerned about yourself and the fact that you are so ill-informed and uneducated, and every single time you call into this show, you embarrass yourself.
Okay. Well, I embarrass yourself in your opinion, but Brian,
and many others too. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, that's fine too. Yep. You know, they don't agree with me just like I don't agree with them.
Yeah.
But bottom line is that I don't want to contribute to your health. I can hear them calling in one day and saying Brian had a nervous breakdown, so on, so on. I don't want to hear that, man. I disagree with you, but I like you. I don't have nothing against you. I wish you would go to sports and leave politics alone. I really do.
Well, it's a good thing for me. It's a good thing for me, Herb, that you're not my boss and you don't tell me what content I can talk about, because if I did, I would have a fraction of the listeners that I do have. Herb, I do appreciate your concern as a MAGA supporter. I appreciate the fact that you are so concerned about me, but I've got some bad news for you, Herb. I'm going to continue to embarrass and educate people like you every day, and there's nothing you can do about it. But I do appreciate your concern, Herb. I think all of my listeners are very concerned about people like you as well. Stop watching Newsmax. Get the MAGA wax out of your ears. Educate yourself. Inform yourself. And do that until you lose your Medicaid, until you lose your health care benefits, until you lose any benefits that you have. Because, Herb, I don't want that to happen to you. Just like you said you're concerned about me, even though you're a MAGA supporter, Herb, and I think you're very ill-informed, I don't want you to lose your benefits. I don't want you to lose your life. I want you to live a happy life. So the reality, Herb, I'm concerned about people like you. But I do appreciate your concern. But I got some bad news for you, Herb. I'm not changing what I do. I could have 100 Herbs call me in a row and I would welcome it. I'm not changing what I do for you. And I'm certainly not changing what I do for any MAGA supporter. It ain't happening, Herb. You think that's quote unquote better than what Joe Biden was doing in his administration?
What I wanted to ask you was, as a neutral perspective, from 1 to 10, how good or how bad will you rate Donald Trump's presidency? And if there's anything good, is there anything good that you've seen that he did?
I give it a 0. On a 1 to 10, I give it a 0. 0.
So 1 to 10, you give it a 0. well.
What would you say that he's done well?
I mean, I'm not going to give him like average. I'm going to give him below average, but not horrible.
Okay, but what do you think he's done well? Let's talk about this.
Okay, like what I think he did well.
Yeah, because when you say below average, that's like what? You're giving him like a D plus, So like what would you say that he's done well in this first 7 months? What has he done well?
I mean, what I do like is like he's kept the border safe. So
hold on a second. Let's talk about that. Okay, so you like his border security and immigration policy. Is that a fair statement?
Like I like how the border secured. I think
okay, part of his immigration. I understand, but part of his immigration policy is he's sending people to El Salvador prisons. He's not giving people due process. And if you just get rid of 4% of the population and we have close to full unemployment, do you understand what that does to the economy?
I mean, there is definitely truth in it. What I don't like is for example, how he's going after the people from Home Depot and there's other things.
Well, that's part of his immigration policy. So you don't necessarily like his immigration policy, but you like the fact that millions of people are being deported, many of whom that are not violent criminals. You think that's good for the country?
What I'm saying is we should deport to a certain extent, number. That's what I'm saying. To a certain extent.
We should deport who? Say that one more time, sir.
There needs to be a certain amount of, or there needs to be a decent amount of deportation still. A decent amount.
So people that have lived in this country for decades that haven't committed a violent crime in their life, you're okay with them being deported?
In that case, if they've been here for decades, not 2 to 3 years, pay a fine, what I would say, pay a fine, let's check his history. Let's see, is there anything that he did?
Okay. I hear you. So my friend, I hear you, my friend. That's not what he's doing though. Part of your definition with respect of making the border safe, in your opinion, which by the way, I would respectfully disagree with, is deporting those people. The overwhelming majority of the people that Donald Trump is deporting and his ICE agents are deporting are non-violent criminals. Many of them that have been in this country for years, that the type of people that you're explaining. Listen, I think everybody is on board with violent criminals that are undocumented being deported. I'm certainly okay with that. I haven't spoken to one person on the left that's not okay with that. But they're arresting citizens, they're arresting non-violent criminals, they're separating families. So I don't consider that making the border safer. I consider that with people in this country that are not getting due process and going against our Constitution and what this country stands for. That's what I think it is. So I would disagree with you on that.
Listen, I've heard about that, but what I'm saying is who is a citizen that he deported? Is there any?
I didn't say there were citizens getting deported. I said there were citizens getting arrested, claiming that they were undocumented. They have to go through the process of being handcuffed in front of their families and friends and being sent to a jail until it's proven that they're documented. I'm not okay with that either. There's something in this country called due process, and these people are not getting that. And when you say that the border is safer, which by the way, I would when you say this country's safer, I would question that. Also, you have a better chance of being the victim of a crime per capita by a U.S. citizen than you do an undocumented immigrant. So I would respectfully disagree with you on that, but it seems like we have some common ground and you would agree you don't like the way he's doing it. So give me one policy or something that he's done in the first 7 months where you're all in and you say, man, I can back Donald Trump 100% on this, because clearly it's not his immigration policy. So what has he done that you would say, man, I could name maybe one or two things that I think he's done that are okay. But name me something that you think he's done that you 100% are behind.
If it's immigration policies, if it's not good. What I'm saying is, I think it was better in the last administration.
I disagree with you. So you think it's better to not give people due process than the last administration?
I mean, the last administration, let's see.
Hold on a second. Think about this. In this administration, you have a bunch of people that are not identifying themselves, putting masks over their faces, kidnapping people. That's what they're doing in front of Home Depot, in front of courtrooms. You think that's quote unquote better than what Joe Biden was doing in his administration?
I don't know how true this is. I don't know how true this is not. But not what you're saying.
What's not true?
People that are
there's videos of it. Just go on YouTube. There's videos of it. How have you not seen that? There's multiple videos.
can I just explain, please? I'm not going off topic. What I'm saying is, I heard that those ICE agents are getting death threats, that they're going after the families.
That's a different. Okay, so first of all, that's a different topic. I could also tell you that there are police officers and people in law enforcement that get death threats. I'm not saying that makes it right, but guess what? ICE agents need to identify themselves. They shouldn't be wearing masks on their faces. That's why there's so much speculation that some of these people are not actual ICE agents. I don't defend death threats, but that doesn't make what they're doing right, sir. It doesn't make it right to not give people due process and handling it the way the Trump administration is handling it. And I disagree with you. I don't think that makes it better than the last administration. Joe Biden's administration, they were giving people due process and they weren't treating people like animals. How did the alligator Alcatraz work out? They're closing it down in 2 months. A lot of money, a lot of taxpayer money. We want to talk about saving money. So when you say you like is, and when you say you think the border is safer, which I wouldn't necessarily agree.
I don't think he's doing a great job. I think he's doing an okay job, an okay to kind of good. But the rest.
And what else has he done? Tell me. So we'll agree to disagree. We'll agree to disagree on the border. What else is he doing okay on in your estimation? Tell me. I'm open ears.
What I'm saying, what else? I think he's doing okay on. I am not anti
X
or anything like that.
X. Try to X. Hold on. Back up. Let's try to slow down here. Listen to what I am asking you. You said he's doing an okay job. Hold on. You said he's doing an okay job. You have the right to your opinion. I'm glad you called in. We disagree on immigration policy.
Okay, Jolene said that I question your mental acuity, your mental state. I said nothing about your mental state. I talked about your physical state.
What's wrong with my physical state?
About you having a heart attack or a nervous breakdown, Brian. Had nothing to do with mental. If you disagree with me and I disagree with you, that's fine.
I have some bad news for you, Herb.
I
have some bad news for you. My cholesterol is very low.
Good.
My blood pressure is actually quite well. I have a lot of wonderful friends. Thank God they're not MAGA, but I have a lot of good friends in Las Vegas. I have a lovely, I won't give out too much information, but I have a lovely woman that I've been dating and I admire her very much. And things are very, very well. But I think the best thing about my life is none of my close friends are Trump supporters.
Okay, but that's fine, Brian.
Yeah.
Bottom line is that, look, I don't know you other than this radio show and you don't know me. I don't want to see anything bad to happen to you. People are going to disagree. You think I'm stupid. I may think you're stupid. Bottom line is that I don't want you to have a problem with your physical health or nothing like that. But
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Herb? I appreciate that. So if you're a man of empathy and you don't want anything bad to happen to me and you want my health to be good, then why wouldn't you feel the same way about nonviolent people that have lived in this country for decades that don't have the right paperwork, that are being separated from their families and get sent to, alligator Alcatraz, where people are getting beaten and having to in the El Salvador prison where people are being tortured. If you care about somebody, then why would you be okay with that?
There's a lot of things that I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about the fact that over the last 4 years when Biden was president, he lifted the gates with tractors.
That wasn't what I just asked you. Herb, why can't you address what I asked you? You're not answering my question. Herb,
we don't know who they are. They got to go.
Herb,
bottom line is I'm not here to argue with you.
Herb, it wasn't an argument. I asked you a question. The reason why I interrupt is because you don't answer the question. You bring up Joe Biden. So I'm going to ask the same question again. And I need you to pay attention to the question, and hopefully you can answer the question, okay? You didn't answer the question. All you said in general terms was, I'm, quote, concerned about a lot of things. That wasn't the question. You said you're concerned about my health. Okay, great. I appreciate you being concerned about my health.
I know what you said, Brian.
Okay. I'm asking you about people in this country that are not getting due process, many of whom are non-violent criminals, that are being separated from their families, treated like dogs, okay, that are being sent to El Salvador. I will explain it to you, and I guess this is the problem because you clearly are not informed. We have multiple witnesses and people that were in the El Salvador prison, including Mr. Garcia, who said they were forced to be beaten and they had to sleep on their knees. There were maggots on their food. In the alligator Alcatraz, we were told the same thing, that these people are being tortured. And we've learned that. Oh, wait. So you mean to tell me, hold on. So you mean to tell me that all of these families and all of these people that were in these facilities are all lying and it's all a conspiracy? Is that what you're saying, Herb? And Herb hangs up the phone. You see, ladies and gentlemen, it is impossible to have a conversation with somebody like Herb because he can't answer a question directly. He claims that he cares about somebody like me, but if you're an undocumented immigrant that has been living in this country for decades, that has a family, in some instances breastfeeding their 1-year-old daughter, that are nonviolent criminals, that have families here, that even pay taxes, he's totally okay with those people being sent to concentration camps. Notice how he didn't want to answer that question. And then he claims he thinks that, you know, these facilities like the El Salvador prison and Alligator Alcatraz are like, you know, a motel or a hotel or a resort. Oh, no, that couldn't be happening there. It's ridiculous.